Hi guys, welcome back to the channel, or welcome if you're new here. If you've been here before, you might know why my hair looks like this, and that is because we're gonna do a get ready with me. I have naturally curly hair if you haven't been here before, and this is how I let it air dry while I'm doing my makeup. So I have a ton to chat with you guys about today, a few new bits of makeup. I have updates on the wildfires here in Colorado, and I just want to enjoy this time together getting ready, as well as chit chat about life. So with all of that said, we better get right into it. So I don't think I'm going to use a primer today. I have on my Embryolisse Lait Cream Concentrate, and I'm going to go in with a new foundation, new to the market and new to me. I did receive this in PR. It is the Bobbi Brown Weightless Skin Foundation, and it has SPF 15 in it. This shade is Sand, which is too light, but have no fear. I'm going to show you guys how I use this darker foundation here to deepen up the foundation. I'm going to take about 2 pumps of this. We may not use it all, but here it is. And then I'm going to take just a drop of this. This is the L'Oreal True Match in the shade N8. This is neutral, medium, deep. And literally just a drop, and this might be even a little much, hopefully not, but we can always add more. Oh yeah, she's too deep. I have to add a little bit more here. Mixy. So this is how I adjust my foundations, just with either this deeper foundation or with my white mixing drops. I'm going to take this brush here. It's kind of loose. I don't know that it's a foundation brush. I've used it for a million different things over the years, but I'm just going to start by picking up the foundation on the brush, and I like to apply right here first, these 2 areas, because this is where I have the most sun damage on my forehead. And I'm just gently tapping over. The center of my forehead really doesn't have any discoloration, so I don't have to use much product there. And this does have a slight scent to it, similar to their vitamin enriched products, but this is a nice lightweight foundation. Now we're going to go to the cheeks. And I'm going to go up here first because, again, this is where I have the most sun damage. And then I'll work it down toward the jawline. So how are you all? Man, it's been a busy summer. My daughter goes back to school in a couple of weeks. Maybe not even a couple of weeks. Pretty soon she goes back to school. Ugh, I'm already trying to adjust my schedule from summer to account for the fact that I do get up with my daughter every day for school. Even though she's a high schooler, I don't have to get up. She's a good kid. She does what she needs to do. I like to get up. I like to see her face in the morning, but that means I'm having to force myself to go to bed a little bit earlier. All right, I'm going to take my fresh, clean sponge. It is damp, but there's no excess water in here. I squeezed it out really well, and very gently I'm going over the foundation. All right, I'm going to fill in with some Project Pan stuff here and there. So for concealer, I'm going to use my Maybelline Fit Me in the shade Light. So Wildfires, holy moly. We have 4 fires burning at the time that I'm filming this in Colorado, in northern Colorado, along what we call the Front Range. It's bad. I'm from Nebraska originally, so we don't typically, I mean, obviously some, but we don't have a ton of wildfires in Nebraska, but we kind of traded tornadoes for wildfires when we moved here. So almost every year for at least the last 5 years, toward the end of the summer, we have wildfires in Colorado. We had a really bad one. I don't think it was last summer, but the summer before maybe, when the Cameron Peak fire one that is closest to us is called the Alexander Mountain Fire, and it's been going on for days and days, and it probably will continue to, I mean, at least through the weekend. It's Friday when I'm filming this, but you know, possibly much longer. The smoke is really bad. I've had several nasty headaches the last few days because the smoke is so bad. Normally I can see the Rocky Mountains out this window in my office, and you cannot see the mountains at all. No silhouette, nothing. It is completely blocked out with the smoke from the fire nearest us. People are literally having to leave their homes, losing their homes. One person has lost their life already. 4 firefighters as of yesterday had been injured, and so I am not in any way, shape, or form complaining. I'm just letting you know what my reality right now in regards to the fire is. We're supposed to limit the amount of time that we are outdoors, which is hard, as well as, you know, we haven't been able to have our windows open in our house for days and days and days. It's sad, man. It is really sad. They have no idea how it started yet, but as of this morning, it had burned almost 10,000 acres, as well as was only 5% contained, meaning that's how much they have contained of the fire, and it's just not looking good. Not looking good at all. So many people have had to leave their homes, find places for their animals. It's just heartbreaking, to be honest. Next, I'm going to go in with my upside down Huda Beauty Tantour in Fair. This isn't a project, and I have to tell you, I've had this for literal years, really didn't love it, and now I do. And the reason why is because this stuff is so pigmented. So what I've been doing is taking my little metal spatula, taking some product out, put it on the back of my hand, and then I kind of like frost the cake, so to speak, with this little spatula. And then I've been going in with this brush, but today I want to go in with this. This is the NYX 37 brush. I believe it's their foundation brush. It's angled, but I've seen a lot of people loving this brush for cream products, especially cream bronzer, cream blush. So what I've been doing is just picking it up off of my hand like so, and then placing it. And I have been absolutely loving this product as a result of that. And a result of, you know, my low buy, basically. I am not on any kind of official low buy, no buy situation this year, but I have been really well behaved. Because of that, and because of Project Panning, I've really been getting to know a lot of products in my collection better. I've been working with products like this through Project Panning. I like to go over top with a sponge and just press things in. So yes, back to the wildfires. No idea how this happened, but you know, it's fire weather warning time here in northern Colorado for sure, just because things are dry, it's hot outside. From there, things just kind of happen. It doesn't take much. I really liked this brush for that. And I'm going to use my Huda Beauty. I'm going to use my Huda Beauty Easy Bake Powder on my face, but first I'm going to go in with my Charlotte Tilbury Airbrush Flawless Finish Powder for under the eyes. And I just pick this up on my puff, but then I really work it into the puff on the back of my hand. I tap out the under eye, look up, and then press. There's not a lot of powder on here. For powder bronzer, I did finally pick up the NYX ButterMelt bronzer. I had this shade All Butta'd Up, which is the second shade in the range. Looks like so. Smells amazing. Smells kind of like butter bronzer, but almost with like a chocolatey smell in it. I don't know. Something good. however, and just been picking this up on my bronzer brush. Let me swatch this for you because I want you to see the tone. Not that I'm like the first person to try this, I'm probably more like the last person, but it definitely has a rosiness to it, and I think you absolutely could use this for a blush or just like an all over color if you wanted to do just like bronzer but with a little bit of a blushy tone to it. You can see it has that little bit of a red or ruddiness to it, and I love that. I always love a bronzer that either has like a red or rosy undertone, and this is that. Plus it smells amazing. You guys know that I have affiliate links in my description box, and that is part of how I'm able to purchase new things. I only put into my channel most of the time what I earn from my channel, from my affiliate links, things like that. And that was what this, you know, these few new things were from that. Just so you know, that money always goes back into the channel to either improve my quality if I need, you know, equipment, or, you know, to pick up a few new bits here and there to share with you guys, review for you guys, that kind of thing. And so far I am loving this. I think it's such a pretty tone. It's really easy to work with. It's smooth, it's blendable. It's pretty dang good in my opinion. For highlighter, my daughter gave me this from her Ipsy bag. It's from the brand Phase Zero, and this is their powder highlighter in the shade Rose Gold. It's really pretty. It's kind of a unique shade, which I really enjoy. It's got a certain amount of a peachy goldiness to it, but there's definitely rose undertones. And apply this. I've really been enjoying this. My daughter does get an Ipsy bag every month, and I tend to end up with, you know, a piece or two every month of a product that, you know, she probably won't use. This is a really pretty highlighter. I really enjoy it, and because it's like little bitty size, I don't mind bringing it into my collection. It's not gonna take up room. It's not really a color. I have rose gold highlighters, but they're more pinky, more rosy than anything. And so this does actually add value to my collection. There's something to be said for a highlighter that's closer to your skin tone. It becomes immediately much more believable. So I really do love that highlighter. And then for blush, we're going to do two blushes, a cream and then a powder. The cream is from my Project 10 Uses right now. I think it's Project 10 Uses. It's the Ilia Multistick in the shade At Last. Not really an overly summery color. It's kind of a berry, but I'm going to use it anyways. So how I'm going to use this today with that new NYX brush is just draw it on the back of my hand, and I'm going to just press this on. And I'm going to try and keep it like up here in this area just because it is a little bit of a deeper berry. I mean, we're going to blend it forward a little bit, but the bulk of the pigment back here. And then I have a cute little pinky blush that my daughter gave me from her Ipsy this month. I believe the highlighter was from last month, and the blush I'm going to use was from this month. Well, July. It's August 2nd, so my brain hasn't really gotten to the August point yet, but it is August 2nd. This blush is so cute, and I recognize the name. I've seen other people with blushes from this brand, but this is the Periwinkle Plus Pop Soft Sculpting Blush from Seraphine Botanicals in the shade Seashell. Looks like this. Cute little embossing in there, but the swatch is actually quite different. It kind of reminds me of a more pigmented version of the Dior Rosy Glow blush, and I had parted with that one. It just didn't look good on me. It wasn't quite pigmented enough for me, and then when I would build it up, it was very obvious that I was wearing cool tone blush over a warm skin tone. But I am loving this one, so I'm going to pick some of this up. I'm going to start it here on the apple where I want that glow, and then I'm going to kind of just use it over and to blend between the blush and the under eye. I am going to pop off of here and put on some eyeshadow primer and do my brows, and then we'll be back because I have a new palette from Clinique. New to me, not to the market. All right, we are back, and I'm going to set the face before we go on to eyes, and I'm going to use this one right here. It's the Urban Decay All Nighter Hyaluronic Acid plus Watermelon Fruit Extract long-lasting makeup setting spray. I don't have it in this bottle, however. The sprayer was just not my jam, so I have it in this other bottle, and I'm going to shake it up and we're going to spray. Lovely. It does have a light watermelon scent, nothing crazy, and it is hydrating but also sets the makeup for long wear. All right, the palette is from Clinique. Looks like so. This is the Best of Black Honey All About Shadow palette. There are two of these. There's one that's pink honey, and then there's this one that's all about black honey, and it is labeled on the back. It does have some shades in from some of their shadow duos, which is part of why I was excited about this. And of course, I heard about this on Emily Noel's channel. It's a beautiful package. It does come with a double-ended sponge tip applicator, and here are the shades. I just thought this was really pretty. There's like one very obvious shimmer, which is like this golden shade right here, but the rest look either satin or matte. I'm gonna go in with this shade right here in the crease. The other thing I wanted to share is a Sephora collection brush I received in PR. First of all, I love this new color of the handle. This is the number 13 multi-use eye brush, and you're gonna see it kind of has that slant that everybody's loving for like concealer brushes, and I think I will try it for that at some point too, but I do want to use this today. But I'm going to start with a pinched fluffy in the shade I said, which is the dark shade from the Ivory Bisque Bronze Satin Duo. I know this is not the most summery palette, but I don't care. Alright, so I'm going to place this on the outer part of the lid and bring it up into the crease, kind of creating that V shape, pulling it outward. Man, that blends like a dream. It practically blended itself. And a little trick that I've been learning from Online Makeup Academy is to have a clean, fluffy blending brush on reserve for blending. So using this brush for placement, and then using the clean brush to blend. Not that there will be much to blend, just tapping over these shadows seems to do a good amount of blending. And then I'm going to take my clean fluffy and just lightly blend the edges. Daughter is going to start her junior year. She's officially an upperclassman, which just blows my mind. In 2 years she'll be done with school, and I am not going to handle that very well, but at this point she does plan to stay at home for college, other than I think she's taking a year off after graduation to go to Bible school, Bible college, and she'll live there for a year, but then I believe she'll come back home and start her nursing degree. School isn't in the same city where we live, but it's very close. So she'll just commute and live at home, probably in the basement, like her brother did, for free. which is smart, you know what I'm saying? If you're paying for college or whatever, why pay for housing when you're not going to be there that much anyway? I also want to take that same shade, but on my little smudger brush that I like for my lower lash line. I love a good lower lash line smoky situation. Well, okay, I'm gonna use this brush, I think, for the outer part of the lid. I'm gonna go into this plum right here, which is called Chocolate Covered Cherry. One of the shades that for sure intrigued me on this palette. Putting it on here. This is gonna be a little bigger than what I typically do brush wise for the outer corner, but that's okay. And the reason I call this a multitasker is one, you know, you can pat shadow on, you could swipe pat shadow on, but with these like less dense, more bendy, longer bristles, you can also blend shadow with it. I always love trying Sephora collection brushes. I think they're some of the nicer, more higher quality, but not break the bank kind of brushes that you can find that are like pro level brushes, in my opinion. Woo. Now we're getting there. Okay, blending. This is why the bare brush. Okay, beautiful though. These really are the most blendy shadows I have used in a while. And I think I'm going to take just a tiny dip of that same purple shade and put that on the outer part of the lower lash line. Alright, I think I am going to go in with this pink shade for the lid, which is the light shade from the Strawberry Fudge duo, which is definitely one of the duos that interested me as a duo. And I'm gonna put this on the inner part of the lid. And this is, you know, like a satin shade. It's not super shiny or anything, but I think it will brighten up the lid and the inner crease really nicely. And when I get to the purple, I'm just gonna pat back and forth for the blend there. So pretty. I'm going to take my blending brush, make sure there's no pigment on it, and go back into that cream shade that we use to clean up our edges and just kind of blend, starting at the brow bone, but then blend around the edges one last time. Curl my lashes real quick. For liner, I'm just going to tight line with the NYX Epic Wear liner stick in the shade Berry Goth. This is a really deep purple shade, and this is really just to give the appearance of a slightly fuller lash line. I want to test this again and see if it's still good. It's the Lancome Seals Booster XL, the white lash primer, and not a ton, just on the tips. So yeah, that seems just fine. We're keeping that. Now I'm gonna go in with my Sephora Big by Definition mascara, and this is a very beautiful separating and lengthening mascara, which is why I thought it would pair beautifully with that primer. And the primer also helps with holding the curl, which is a nice bonus. Okay, let's talk lips. This is not a new combo. Neither of these are new products. They're just refills that I'm very happy to have. The first one is my favorite lip liner. If you know, you know. It is MAC Whirl. I have not finished my other one, but it is small enough and it has now become my purse lip liner. So, boom, here we go. I'm gonna line my lips here. That is why I love that lip liner. It is literally my lip color, but better. now that we're contoured, let's go into my new Charlotte Tilbury lipstick. Okay, yes, I have a mini of it. Actually, it's in my purse. But I have been loving Pillow Talk so much lately that I went ahead and bought the full size. I will either keep my mini in my purse, or I will give it to my bestie. I know she has recently used up her full size, and I know she'd be happy to have a mini, but this combo is life right now. I just love her matte lipsticks. They're so comfortable. Okie dokie, we're back, and this is the completed look. Hair's a little wonky, it's still drying, so ignore that. But what do we think of today's makeup? Let's talk briefly about some of the newer products. We won't talk about lips because that's just repurchases, but I am really loving the NYX ButterMelt bronzer. It smells good, it's fun. I love a nice luminous bronzer for the summer, especially for layering over the top of the cream bronzer. This is a good one. Just make sure you really check on the shades online. And then the Clinique palette, so far so good. We used 4 out of the 8 shades, so let me know if you want to see more from the Clinique palette, but I mostly just got that for myself for my everyday makeup. And that's mostly it. You know, the few bits and bobs from Ipsy and things like that are fun, always fun to play with. The Bobbi Brown foundation, I'm really enjoying this. I think it has a nice smooth application, and it wears relatively well, surprisingly, on my more oily skin and it being hot in summertime. So I'm going to keep testing this though, and I will get back to you as I always do. And that's it. I hope you guys enjoyed today's video. Just a little chatty situation, not worrying about how long the video is, but just enjoying time with each other and getting ready and catching up and all of those things. And with that said, I hope all of your makeup days are absolutely beautiful makeup days. Please don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe, and I will see you in the next one. Bye.